Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans. She's right here on the TNI Network. This is Trent with only my co-host, Uncle Mark, and he's sleeping. Mark is sleeping. Mark, you are out. There's an echo coming from your phone, Mark. Something you're sleeping. I'm hearing my own voice
better?
coming. That's better.
Wait, what are we doing? Trent, what are you doing here?
Here. We're here to do a throwback, Mark. It's throwback time.
Oh, what day is it?
This is Tuesday. It's throwback Tuesday now. Remember?
Okay.
Impact change day.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Mark, I think you're sleeping. The chat's upset at me. You know why? They probably noticed, Mark, that the timing went from 10:05 Central to 10:35 Central to 10:45 Central, and it's my fault, everybody. If everybody was waiting around, and I have a good reason, Mark. I have a good reason. I was crying over Ty Valkyrie debuting. No, it's not that. I was at the AAW booking meeting.
Hey, wait, cut your own mic. Cody, it's late. I was waiting for Trent, so I had an extra bowl.
I was at the AAW booking meeting. We have our show our next set of tapings is on the 24th. So we had to meet, a bunch of us one of our guys is getting married. So the whole weekend is off. So we were just getting everything together and whatnot. So I'm late. I was way out in the suburbs, but I rushed back. I drove really fast. Luckily, no cops were on my ass, Mark, and I got back because I felt guilty. I made you wait, Mark. I really did.
You know where I was.
I know where you were. You were hanging out with just Trey in the treehouse.
Yeah, Rascals for life, though. Come on, man.
The other two are gone somewhere. I don't know where they went. They went somewhere, but
they'll be back. Yeah, I don't know. They'll be back.
No, they always come back. But guys, we're here. We're here to another throwback edition. We're back at the Asylum to do NWA-TNA number 64, Mark. 64.
64 with a two-man team. This is like a throwback of the throwback.
It's a throwback of the throwback.
Minus the bone.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. It's a throwback of the throwback. It's just you and I. Have you and I ever just done one?
No, never been in a two-man ever.
Really?
Yeah, you're not getting the best version of me. I'm going to be honest. Hey, Bill's in the chat. Maybe Bill can come in and swoop in and save the day because it's very late, as we know, and that's not a big deal. But I am 2 bowls deep, so we'll see how this. I may have to lean on you, Trent.
Well, we would have been on anyway.
Yeah.
We're not
anyway. But I wouldn't have been 2. I would have been 2 like bowls deep.
Yeah,
and then I would have smoked after the show. Yeah, I was just killing time. My whole family fell asleep, and we were watching The Tick. We started The Tick tonight.
Oh, the classic.
No, we started the new one on Amazon.
Wait, hold on. There's a remake of The Tick?
No. It's a brand new series. There's 2 seasons of it so far.
You're kidding me. Really?
Yeah. So we started that tonight. But it's been real hectic around here. I look around, everybody's asleep, and I was asleep for a second too. And so everybody went to bed. That's when I texted you. I'm like, hey, you want to go on early, man? We can get this done. I can bang this out right now. And Trent's like, I'm probably going to be like a few minutes late. I'm like, okay, cool. No worries. I'll just go smoke. Well, that lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to last.
I apologize.
No, I'm good.
But the chats, thank you guys for hanging out with us live tonight. We appreciate a bunch of you guys hanging with us in here. So we know it's late. I had no idea The Tick was being remade. That's a new series altogether. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, we're gonna break it down. So since it's just the 2 of us, Mark, I think this will go a little quicker. So that'll be one thing. Also, the date and where you were at this point in time in life is going to go a lot quicker. So this is NWA-TNA number 64 from the Asylum, October 1st, 2003. Now I was on my buddy Dave's couch eating pizza. It's fall, probably pizza for sure. Ordered a pizza, forked over my half of the $9.99. Ordered NWA-TNA. Mark, where were you on October 1st, 2003?
Oh man, October 1st is the beginning of Halloween season. I'm a huge Halloween celebrator. At that time, even though I was working 2 jobs and we were broke as a joke, Halloween was celebration month, so it was likely that I was out on a Wednesday night somewhere for Halloween. Probably every Wednesday for the next 4. That's probably going to be what I was doing because back then I still had the energy for that kind of
stuff. Nice. Well, yeah, October was
Paul. You wound us, Paul.
Yeah, no uncle tonight, guys. J Bone has some family stuff going on. He's not going to be here tonight. Bill, I think, is still in Florida. I'm gonna assume.
Yes.
He's
He
still in
said
Florida?
He'll be back tomorrow. He is in the chat though.
He's in the chat. Bill, you are in the chat. Say hello. I mean, and Bill, if you want to give your location and your coordinates, let us know where exactly you are.
How many wrestlers are with you? Which wrestlers have you eaten with today?
Who have you run into randomly? Like all that stuff. Probably the weirdest Bill run-in was Elektra, ECW's Elektra, when she was at a restaurant. I'm like, what?
That was like the day after he ran into the Hulkster. And Bischoff.
Like
and Jimmy Hart.
Bischoff. So random.
Actually, maybe Jimmy, he didn't say Jimmy Hart was there. I just like in my mind, he's always there.
With them.
Yeah.
But all right, let's jump in, Mark. Wait.
Yeah. We do have one piece of news I think we absolutely have to talk about up front.
Go ahead.
So as we've talked about the app a lot lately.
Mention this. Mark's news. This is wacky. Go ahead.
Yeah, what the hell? Dude, do not distract me, Trent. If you do that, we're in for a long night.
That's what I do. This is what happens. I make him wait.
Yes. No, the app.
Yes. So you're not happy about this, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So the Impact Plus app, I've been real harsh on. I'll try and be a little less. I'll try to be more diplomatic about it. And in case anyone from Impact listens to this rambling scream that I'm going through right now.
Do you want the J-Bones news jingle, but I can speak over it and
Mark's
news?
Do you want it? Yeah, let's do
Mark
it, man.
News, guys?
It's Thursday, super late at night. There's nobody.
It's not Thursday though. That's the best part.
It's Tuesday night, 2-man booth, first time ever. You just got home. I'm high as a kite. Let's fucking go.
You can have us on Mark's news segment. It's Mark's news today.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now it's Mark's news. It's not J-Bone's news, it's J-Bone's face, but this is Mark's news. Holy shit, what's going on? Mark, I hope you make this first news segment really worthwhile. Take it away.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
I botched it, Mark. I botched it already. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I feel special. It was totally worth it.
I tried making up for it as it went on. Go ahead.
My one bit of news that I think we should talk about has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with technology. The Impact Plus app has been an issue in terms of it not working or
functionality.
Functionality, just all sorts of technical issues. So as I've talked about on here before, some of us have switched over to Fight because you can subscribe to Impact Plus that way. Mm-hmm. While the interface is not nearly as good, it works every time. So now we get an email today from Fight, and Fight did confirm this via their socials that as of the 21st of this month, April, so next week, you will no longer be able to get Impact Plus via Fight. You will have to go through the app. So yeah, if you're a Fight subscriber like myself and had dropped the app, you can make the choice to either go back or live without at this point now.
Did you get it? You said you got an email? Because first I heard about it was you sent it to me.
That was from that screenshot I sent you was from my email.
It was. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So, so we, and it's funny, didn't we talk about this like the other day, just you and I, about how like, we felt eventually that there's more margin in them going off of when did I could have sworn we talked about this like a day or two ago.
It was this morning when I sent you the email. I said,
"Oh, okay." I thought
it makes sense to me why. Yeah, there's so many texts in between then and now that it seems like days ago, and it's really fucking late, right? So,
Mark, here's what I got. I got to call your bluff on this, guys. Shit. We do the review for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but then we're also like hanging out afterwards for like another 2 hours, watching like old tapes and like shooting the shit. So Mark's saying like it's late, as if I'm keeping him from something, is ridiculous right now. By the way,
no, but see, as a straight edge CM Punk fan, you're missing the point here. It's not what time; it's what happened before. It is what time it was. You know what I mean?
So this fight. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I could have sworn you and I were talking about this. Like even them, just like eventually just pushing to the app.
We had before because of the cut. Right. So like Fight has to be getting a whatever percentage cut. It only makes sense that they're going to try and funnel people to their own platform, which is fine and dandy. The interface
Right.
is better when it works, but the functionality is a very serious issue that, you know, it needs to be addressed. Like, I don't know if that needs to be scrapped and restarted. I'm no expert on that kind of stuff, but you know, it just seems like at this point it's one thing after the other, and something gets fixed temporarily and then it breaks again. And
Yeah.
you know, it's frustrating for the company, I'm sure. It's
Yeah.
frustrating as fans. It's frustrating even as you know, we're fans, but we're also, so we somewhat represent the face of the company, at least. Like, people come to us and say, hey, do you know what's happening here? And so we have to field questions that we're not equipped to answer. And it's just it needs fixing.
It's so true. People and we're honored, actually. People do come to us
absolutely
with questions about this. You know, they impact issues, and we appreciate it, because we do have ties to the company. You know, we are patched in many ways, so we're able to at least field that and send that off to Impact and do something, get some investigative, you know, queries out there with some of our contacts. So we appreciate that. But yeah, we have not minced words about the app having issues. And for some reason, it always feels like it's like the day of a special, down to the wire. Yes. You know, the day we have to do, like, a day have to watch a show for Throwback. Like, it sucks that it gets down to that. And it's like, man, we don't want that to happen, where people are frustrated enough to go, you know what, I'll keep my $8. Like, no, we want you to use this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone in this chat and on this show are like super fans, right? We're Impact super fans. So everyone here wants to see this company be the best company that it can be. And the app really needs a lot of attention. Of all the areas of the business and facets of the business, the app is maybe the biggest missed opportunity right now, because you could easily be getting new fans, or you could quickly turn potential fans off. And I think the app is very much having that effect. Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the thing. After the 21st, that's it. Like, you have no choice but to make sure this thing is 100%. So mine worked fine. I watched Throwback today. No problems. It's been fine. It was fine on Hardcore Justice Day. Like, I had no problems. It's just last week's Throwback is the last time I had a problem. So let's see what happens. I know some people still are, you know, some people in the chat still are having issues. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is behind it, but I hope that this is it. I hope this is the kick in the butt, that whatever hosting they have, whatever issue it is resolved here. Maybe they'll flex over Fights technology or what, I don't know. Something has to move over and upgrade. Maybe this will be it. So we'll find out one way or another. I have a piece of news too, Mark. I don't know if you heard about this, though. There's another piece of actually big news. I just heard today. I don't have all the full details, and I think Armand mentioned it in the chat too. Access just became available on way more platforms, or cable networks too.
Nice.
So I was talking to somebody too. There was a bunch of more cable providers that Access just got fed over to. I don't have the list in front of me, but apparently Access is feeding out to more cable providers, and then Plex or something. Plex is an app.
Yeah, Plex is an app. I have a friend that hosts a local server, for movies and shows and stuff, and then he shares it like with us. But he uses Plex as the app for that. But you can add in all sorts of stuff to it. And
so yeah,
it seems like a real open source kind of thing.
Yeah. I know some new providers also picked up Access today or Monday, I want to say. So
nice. Impact always growing.
Yeah. So if you guys have a provider that didn't previously have Access, check again. You might have it now. So take a look. I have to check mine actually. So I'm going to see if I have it. But because I didn't have Access with part of my package, I get it through a cable login, like my parents' cable login for their Access on like an app that I use like for AT&T. So that's how I've been watching it. So, but yeah, check it out, guys. If you don't have it, you might have it now. So who knows? But any other news?
No, that's it.
All right, let's jump in, guys. NWA-TNA number 64, another very action-packed episode. Lots of what I liked about this one, Mark, overall picture, before we dive into the nitty-gritty. I love about this one had a core roster of people. Like, this was like that core that's been in and out of storylines for like the past maybe couple months, and it was like that core, and everybody was focused on really nicely in the core group. There wasn't a lot of floaters in this one. It was like, this is the core group. Everybody who was on the show today was like I've been seeing them for weeks.
It was there for a reason. Yeah, it wasn't like a, hey, here's a random tournament.
Right. Which they love.
Every one of these made sense. Even Mad Mikey and Shark Boy made sense.
Yeah,
the way they were used.
It did. It was a nice core group, and I was like, it was fun.
And that really goes to the point. I think that I know that several of us have reiterated over the last few weeks is that the show has, since episode 53, because 52 sucked, 53 has hit its stride. It's learning how to tell its story. It's learning its production has gotten leagues better. The refereeing is questionable still, but we're seeing a lot of improvements.
Yeah.
The refereeing in this episode.
There, Mike Posey, who is a referee today in AEW, I believe, is awful on the show, by the way. I was like, dude, I couldn't believe he's still around. I was like, what?
Are you talking about when he's looking directly at the object?
Oh my God.
Leaving the ring. There were so many refs. This is a bad one, but we're used to that. Let's be honest. In the Asylum years, it's almost like a endearing hallmark of these shows.
I tell you though, the one guy, Andrew Thomas, to me it should have been the head referee during this time. He was probably the most consistent one. Because Rudy Charles is, I can't believe Rudy Charles and Mike Posey, two who botched the most on these Asylum shows, are on TV today.
Yeah.
Both
I wish Bill was here because this is Bill's strong suit, in my opinion. Is
referee stuff.
Bill has a better eye for refereeing than anyone I've ever seen.
So true. Bill catches stuff. So
and there's so much to rip to shit here. Bill, if you have like a signal, just hop in and give us like a referee overview of this episode.
Bill probably hasn't
Bill probably hasn't watched it because he was at like 76 shows over the last 4 days. So 15 shows.
15
was at
is what
15 shows.
15 shows. He was there all week too. So it's
wow,
a lot of wrestling. A lot of wrestling.
That's crazy. Bill's a man.
Bill has he's a great eye for that. And who knows? Maybe sitting front row that much, you tend to notice the referee a little bit. Yeah. So he has a good eye for it. But it's one of those the refereeing on this was very questionable at times. But
up and down the show.
Yeah, it was not great. It was not great. But let's jump in. Show opens. You got a recap of 63, which is always good to remind you. So especially because I like a good little video recap. Just refresh my memory. Always good to see that. It's
the music, by the way, on this one, I really dug. This was some
on the recap video.
Yes. Oh my God, the music was really good this week. Every week I know I rave about this, but to me, this is a hallmark of this program at this point. I love it.
Just the music.
I live for it's so representative of this time and this level of
production and stuff.
Not effort, because you can tell they're trying hard, but availability or money or resources. But I love it. I genuinely love these intros. They feel like a time capsule. That's
the best part. It is a time capsule. And especially when you see some of the guys who are still on TV today, you're like, man, it's such a trip to see them so young and like in a different role altogether, even, but we open up with Russo and AJ walking in earlier that day. And Scott Hudson trying to get a word with them, and they're discussing the match. And Russo says he's going to try to get them out of the match. So it's weird because he was very adamant on just getting them out of the match. Like that was his goal for the night. We're getting out of this thing tonight. So
I think it just kind of gave Russo something to do, waiting for match time.
Basically,
just dressed hilariously the entire. I actually really dug Russo in this episode. He's cracking me up.
I want to get Vince back on, and again, we just have to schedule because he's down to come back. And I just want to talk about his managerial time. He's underrated as AJ's manager. I really feel he is. He's underrated in this.
I am not the Russo fan on screen that you are. To me, I think this might be the most tolerable and my favorite version of Vince Russo.
It's great. It's underrated.
I think he's really good as a manager. If he had this role consistently through his on-screen career, I think he'd have been much more likable in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I think this is the role that would have taken him to that endearing level with people who hate him for writing, which is still weird to me. But.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a great writer. He wrote some of the greatest storylines we've ever known.
Question about it.
But on screen, I've never been a fan of like that obnoxious, like in your face character. But it really works with AJ.
It does
in this time frame.
especially when a guy like AJ who needs it at this point too, who has zero personality in some ways.
Yeah, none.
Oh, and I'm gonna rip the shreds that promo at the end when he's stumbly bumbly at the end. Oh, forget it. We'll talk about that.
All right.
AMW starts it off at James Storm and Chris Harris, who recently kind of reunited on Impact, taking on Kid Kash and Abyss. Mike Tenay during this match announces that Ron Harris has left TNA to go be the Macho Man's road manager on his Rap CD tour. Now, I gotta mention something. I gotta mention something about this. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Early 2003.
I have to mention something about this that actually has a weird connection to me. I'm at Dave's house during this. We hear this. We look up the dates then for the promotional tour, right? And we come to find out, no, we hear this. We know the CD is coming out. The next week, as the week progresses, we find out that Wednesday he's going to be at the Walmart that's like 3 miles from Dave's house. And I'm the biggest Macho Man mark.
He's your favorite, right? He's
favorite of all time.
Yeah.
And I never got to meet him. But I'm thinking at this time, I wasn't like as eager to meet the guys for some odd reason. And I remember sitting at Dave's house and he's like, do you want to go do the Macho Man thing before I come back and watch TNA? I'm like, nah, we'll see him again at some show. I'm like, no big deal. I don't want to wait in the line. And I'm like, I look back, I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Because I found out people I knew who went to that signing, and he signed everything. He was signing like everything people brought.
Could have had your booty cheek signed.
My booty cheeks could have been signed. But dude, to this day, I kick myself in my because he was there on a Wednesday. The following Wednesday, I'm down the street from at Dave's house, and we're already there for TNA. And I'm like, we'll do it some other. We'll catch him some other time. What's the fuck? What the stupidest thing I've ever? One of the top next to like my shitty marriage and other things.
I can't wait to show this to my daughter tomorrow, despite your filthy language, because this speaks exactly to a point I've been making. My daughter just turned 13, and I'm like, I remember what it's like to be that age, and I've told her repeatedly, you never, ever don't do something if you want to do. Never do something you might regret. Absolutely. When I was 14 years old, I could not find a ride. We didn't have Uber and stuff like that back then. I could not find a ride to see the Shaman. I was 14 years old.
Oh,
that really? Summer, Mr. C died in the Canary Islands when he drowned. And I never got a chance to see the Shaman ever again. And since that day, like I Met You in Dallas, because there was no way that I was going to miss like opinions of who won what aside. It was history. So now if I have to go out of my way for something, like in June, I'll be there for Kylie. Like, yeah, that's the one thing in life I think you don't ever want to regret is not going to something. And your Macho Man story is just like more, validation of that. Never miss out. If you can do it, do it.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, it was my lesson since then. Never miss an opportunity, man. Got to take it. Always take the opportunity. I could have been, with the Macho Man, and I didn't do it. So
instead, divorced after like 3 weeks, running joke on his own podcast about a marriage that lasted like the lifespan of a firefly.
You ass.
I've got to fill every role tonight stoned. So maybe you should appreciate the extra work I'm putting in here.
So Tenay mentions that during the match. Storm, a lot of heat on Storm here. Killed the cowboy chant like crazy going on for some odd reason. But Harris is super over, which is the weirdest dynamic on the team. Like the crowd loves. Now I understand why they broke out Harris on top of it all. Yeah. The crowd loved. They hated Storm. Hated, but they were not sold on Storm. Not hated, but they weren't sold on Storm.
He's not as popular as Harris for sure.
Fully, and I know it comes in waves because there's certain times Storm's super over. And I feel he won him over with hard work, but they clearly wanted Harris. It's crazy when you see where it ended up too. Storm being the legend he is now. Kash is shitting on Abyss a lot and this, degrading him. Harris is on fire during this one. Harris is completely on fire. That's what I have here. Abyss does pin Storm after the Black Hole Slam after a Kash chair shot. Terry Taylor comes out, tries to confront this, punches Kash and Abyss, and they take him down, and then AMW makes the save. So Terry Taylor's involvement is still going on here. So the whole Kid Kash legend thing, TNA playing it up, like disrespectful asshole, and that's all that stuff. So
yeah, TNA, I posted about that. I
saw that
today
on
the account. Yeah, TNA was just going berserk at the end of this match when Kash got on Abyss's shoulders for that moonsault, and for the rest of the match, TNA was like on 11, and it made the whole match that much better. I loved the match already, except for that one missed spot that I think it was maybe supposed to be a Rana into a powerbomb, and the powerbomb got dropped.
Well, I think he fell short on the Rana.
Okay.
And then Harris tried to pick it back up into a power bomb, but then the power bomb stumbled too. Like it
was kind of a mess right there for a minute. But that aside, the match overall was real solid. I like the Kid Kash Abyss dynamic. Like, I'm digging that a lot.
It's interesting. It's the whole like little guy, commanding the big bruise, like this big dude, but it's like he's still like a weakling in front of his master. That whole dynamic. So it's a fun one to see, and I know it unfolds really well too. So it's going to be cool to watch how it all takes place if it's your first time watching it. Don West, we cut the Don West tonight. I wrote Don West banana on banana.
I put canary on canary. I like yours better. Yeah, I like yours banana. Better. Yeah, he was a big banana.
They announced that on 10/22, 3 weeks from today, or that show, Jeff Jarrett will get his title shot against AJ, and so that's the title match official. Don Callis interrupts, and then he vows revenge for last week's actions. So setting up the show.
This is the beginning of a lot of audio issues. Production was having a rough night on October 1st, 2003. That was a night that was infamy for production.
It was basically the flipping of the switch between direct feed and to arena feed. They were just not hitting it in time. Like,
was that what it was every single time?
Every single time. It was the flip switch of, because the live crowd's hearing it just fine, but there's a switch you have to flip so that same microphone feed hits the TV input. Yeah, the truck. That wasn't being flipped in time, and it's like, who the hell? Like,
it was all night. Over and over. Yeah, it was
all night.
Horrible.
It was weird. We got Scott Hudson with Michael Shane, X-Division champion. Talks a lot about the HBK relationship and the relation to him and Shawn Michaels comparisons.
He's green on the stick, huh?
He's pretty green.
Yeah.
But he basically separates it a little more. He's kind of like, yeah, but he wasn't X-Division champion. Which I did like this line. He goes, yeah, but Shawn Michaels wasn't the X-Division champion. It's like, okay, all right. I like that. A little important.
Put some shine on the bell.
I like that. Yeah. He's doing a lot of the mannerisms though, still. Like the Shawn, like the head cocking and the chewing gum and the the face up and shit like that. So
yeah,
he's still playing it up, but I see where he's going with it. He's trying to at least create, because you don't want, that's a weird shadow to be in when nobody knows you, and that's like you can't play that off too much, otherwise you look like it's gonna make you look weak.
Yeah, his value at this point is definitely in the ring.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Even though the match we get to now, Michael Shane and Jerry Lynn for the X-Division Championship. First off, I gotta say, so JB introduced Antonio Pena, who's the promoter of AAA, one of the most famous promoters of all time. I at the top of the match, I'm like, I literally wrote in my notes, for what reason?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. There's no role.
He didn't get on the mic. He didn't make an announcement that, hey, the winner of this X-Division title match will come to Arena Mexico and fight so-and-so at AAA. Like, I thought that would be the tie-in, that the winner of the X-Division title match will face Hoovy in Arena Mexico for AAA.
Right.
And didn't get on the mic. He kind of looked awkward. And then the funniest part was Shane starts attacking Jerry before Pena's out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And did you catch Pena looking back like, the fuck? Like, You couldn't wait. Oh, Jesus. Like, he looked so pissed off.
I can't move any faster than this.
He looked so upset that they started like fighting before he got out of the ring. So, like, look at his face there. It's awesome. But it was a clunky match. Am I crazy? Like the first half.
No, it was really clunky.
The first half, super clunky. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Sabin being at commentary helped because it gave you something else to focus on because he comes down and he gets on commentary.
Yeah, broke it up.
And like, is it me or is Sabin for being, he's what, 2 years in now?
2 years in at this point.
He's gotten really good on promo and just on the mic in general now, I feel like, from where he was 2 years ago. Like, comparing him to like AJ, I think Sabin's come further than AJ at this point, even though he's probably had less opportunity. Yes.
And AJ's had a ton of opportunity at this point, you know?
Yeah. He was slow go. I mean, AJ's fine now, but these early years, it's like you can see how much, I mean, he's naturally like absolutely unbelievably gifted, but it took a long time for him to get there with the rest of it.
I personally think AJ Styles didn't gel fully gel until after the Christian Coalition angle. Do you remember that when he's doing a lot of comedic stuff and like things like that? He was doing a lot of stuff with Christian and Tomko and all that stuff.
I remember some of it.
Okay. After that, and even still, he was a little awkward still. That's what they had when they flair with him. And I think he really became AJ Styles, like solid establishment after the Dark AJ story.
So when he went back to the X Division.
Yeah, I think that's where he took on that veteran role. And I want to hear from actually guys in the chat. Give me your thoughts on this too. When do you feel AJ kind of made that full transition from, you know, kind of awkward young redneck dude, like he's like, I don't know what to say on the microphone at the end, especially at the end of this episode, to like established status, you know, where he knew his character, he knew who he was, franchise player kind of thing. He's never been a great mic guy. He was like never like amazing, but he came to a point where he was not bad at all.
You know, where he's at now, he knows his strengths. He's got that kind of dry delivery and his humor. He plays up his accent when he needs to. He found what he needed to do on promo to get by.
Right.
He was never going to be Flair. You know?
No, never.
But in the ring, no one's ever going to be AJ. So
absolutely. Hey. in my opinion, I think the best overall of the generation of that. The diversity in style in promotions he's worked, the competition level
of this century, I would say he's the best.
Absolutely.
Worker. Yeah, of this century.
No question about it. That's my opinion. I
mean, think top. He was the face of the company Impact. He was the face of company in New Japan.
Yeah.
You know, WWE, one of the faces of the company, whatever. You know, he's been at the top everywhere he's ever been. He's excelled at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's undeniable that he is absolutely one of the all-time greats. He's the greatest TNA wrestler.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to go down as that guy, man. Dead Punk saying after he beat Angle, that's a good one too for the world title. And Hakeem saying around 2011 when he cut the promo on Bischoff and Immoral, that's a good one too. You're right. That's a good time period too. Good stuff. I'd like to keep that combo going. Maybe we'll gauge that one out on Twitter, Mark. That could be one of your engagement questions that you put out.
There you go.
All right, let's keep going here. Let's see here. So again, the match a little clunky to start. It picks up a little bit towards the middle. Sabin on commentary basically says next week he's got his trophy with him, his World X Cup trophy, and he says next week the trophy will be up against tonight's winner. And then Today at this point also mentions that Don mentions that Michael Shane has the flu during this match. So that might be why he's a little off. I don't know if they're covering for him or if it's a legit thing, but he always battling the flu. Sabin ends up cheating, hitting Jerry. Jerry and Sabin kind of jaw a little bit, hits Jerry. Shane super kick. Shane retains. So really playing up. Yeah, really playing up the whole Jerry breaking down. So even during the next match, they mentioned on commentary that actually not during the match, a couple matches later, that Jerry abruptly leaves the building too. Like he leaves in his gear. So they're playing up the whole Jerry is frustrated. I think they're deconstructing Jerry at this point to rebuild him back. But I almost feel like it was unnecessary because you didn't have to. You've already built him back by giving him this match.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you could have changed it here, honestly. But
well, we discussed a couple weeks ago Lynn's character seeming a little bit lost. Like they just been kind of moving him around from convenient feud to convenient feud to fuel other people's storylines. So this has kind of been a little bit par for the course, unfortunately, for Lynn right now. But
I think they should just take him as full, like established veteran, because they keep playing that part up. He's the guy. He's one of the guys who created the style. He's the veteran. He's the guy, pioneer of the X division. It's like, cool. Let him be the godfather and let them all try to dethrone him as a heel. Jerry Lynn would have been great. Yeah,
right. You could have just had a long, like 300-day run as a heel.
And he's the fucking man. I'm the fucking godfather of this.
He already looks like a heel with his little black.
That's what I'm saying. Well, like you played up like me and Sean Waltman created this goddamn style in the US, 20 years ago. You guys ain't shit. You try to dethrone him and he just fucking takes him. I mean, imagine the caliber of matches and he just starts knocking him down, right? Yeah. And then you get the one emerged who just takes him out. And it's like, boom, they're just instant star right there.
Yeah. The way they're using him is, I actually like that better, but the way they're using him still works. He never needs a belt. He's Jerry Lynn.
He doesn't, right?
One of the greatest like in-ring performers and workhorses and, just, bell-to-bell guys ever. So it's nice because they can move him around, right? Like, I know it sounds strange. I was just saying like the same thing was bad for his direction, but at least he's flexible on the card. Maybe that's why they didn't choose to establish him, in one spot, because he is versatile.
Yeah.
Because coming in, they didn't have a lot of versatile veteran guys in the ring, right?
It's true. They didn't. No, not too many. A lot of young guys.
Yeah, a lot of young guys.
A lot of new people you don't know. So Michael Shane does retain. We go to Mad Mikey and Shark Boy with Scott Hudson. And they're basically talking about their match coming up later against Ekmo and Siaki. D'Lo comes up and says he has a match with Chris Daniels later tonight, but he hasn't forgotten what Siaki and Ekmo did to him. And he's like, whatever you guys need, I got your back tonight. Callis comes in at this point, says, you're not gonna do anything, goddammit. And if you do, you're gonna see red. And he kind of like looks around at the red shirt security goes, you're gonna see red. Very subtle Don Callis-y move where he's like, you're gonna see red. And says, you're gonna have your little match, you're gonna get back in you're gonna take a shower, you're gonna get changed, and you're gonna get out of the building. So he lets him know, you do anything, you're screwed. So we go right to D'Lo and Chris Daniels from this. This is where they announced Jerry walked out of the asylum. This I thought was a good match. This was a good above course TV match. It had just a good back and forth. The Altar Boys kept getting involved.
The Altar Boys, in retrospect, with the 17-year window, these Altar Boys, man, like they couldn't have found, I don't know, some more
altar looking boys, I guess. Yeah. One of them Spider Nate Webb too, which is funny.
That's right. They look like they're ready to go. They don't look like they're ready to go. This match was good. It was a little short, right? I feel like this could have gone longer. It did answer a question that we brought up last week, where we both thought it was the Angel's Wings that he was using as a finisher at this time, but it wasn't.
Right? What did he use? I'm
Last Rites.
Yeah,
he used the Last Rites in this match.
That's right.
So Angel's Wings, I guess, is later, maybe.
Yes, yeah. It seems like it's I think maybe even after they leave the asylum. So
okay.
No, solid match. I mean, they do the red shirts and Callis come out and they distract D'Lo basically. So Daniels wins with the Last Rites. Good win. They're strengthening Chris Daniels, which I like here. They're really strengthening him a lot. Funny enough, his name came up at our AAW booking meeting today. It's fun. I always like the joke as Danny Daniels, who's the owner of AAW, former ECW guy, is and Chris Daniels. I'm like, are you sure you're not cousins? Or like wrestling cousins? Can they like hook you up and get you an AEW or something? But like they did talk recently. So there's who knows? Statlander is our women's champion, by the way, just so you guys know that. Just gotta put that out there.
I'm hyped for the match you guys are gonna.
Oh yeah, it's happening. It's building really. I'm telling you guys, if you guys are not watching AAW, free on Twitch, it's every Saturday. you guys are missing out. So twitch.tv/AEW Pro.
I did. I know you don't spend a lot of time in the Discord. I did see somebody. Forgive me, whoever said it. Somebody mentioned that AEW is pretty much the only indie running right now that's like pro and seems real professional. Like after the weekend,
that.
I guess watching a bunch of indie shows, they made a comment that AEW is like a step above the other indies in the market right now.
Our reviews, thankfully, that came through for the last 2 broadcasts, we're saying just that it's the most pro-looking indie out there today. So that means a lot to us. And big thank you again to Truck, who really tore it up 2 weeks ago in the Twitch. Truck, thank you very much.
Truck's the man. I was in that chat. He was throwing stuff all over the place.
Man, what a guy. Thank you again, Truck. So, but yeah, check it out, guys. So Daniels wins. We go to Scott Hudson with Eric Watts, and he's with I think, is it Rick Santel? Was one of the black shirt security guys who's got an arm in a sling. I think it was Rick Santel.
Looks like mine.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to your end?
Carpal tunnel.
Same. I just took my brace off. I was having I have a Decker veins tendonitis. I get it like once a year, and it's killing me.
Sucks. Maybe it's the weather.
I literally just took mine off. My dude, that's so.
Man,
crazy.
You should have kept it on, and it would have been like when we all had the bandanas on. Like, dude, you didn't find the Raven shirt, did you?
No, I didn't.
You have time. Yeah,
I didn't have time to find it, and I have one. I gotta look for it deep in the closet. But wow, but I get it really bad, like once a year, and it's killing me on my left arm, man. It's in my left hand, so it's brutal. It's brutal. I'm trying to avoid the surgery. I don't want to do the surgery. Sucks. But this is where Watts does his famous. I heard it, and I was like, Mark's gonna comment on this, where he's like, "Listen here, Don Cal ass, you should pay this man's medical bills." Like,
he's losing his luster from me big time.
It sucks, because he was on an upward trajectory for a little bit. I was like, cool, we got Watts established again. And then he's starting to kind of fizzle because it's so muddy. It's Callis and him, and they're battling over managerial shit.
And it's not even his fault, because he clearly in kayfabe has no real authority.
No,
and so it kind of cuts. It makes him toothless.
You know what the problem is? You can't. He's a great manager, but you can't make him a manager because he's 6'7" or whatever.
Yeah, that is really an ideal role for him.
You can't be a manager though, because you're too big. That's why manager and referee are never big guys, because you can't tower over talent. And he should be a manager. And it's like, I get why he's in this role, but this role's muddy because now you got Callis. It's too muddied up. And
he just really didn't have a way to succeed here.
It's tough. He's in a tough spot, man.
And he's getting very limited TV time. Like
very limited.
He's on screen for, 30 seconds to a minute, once or twice a show, maybe. And it's real fractured in what he's doing. This is a tough spot, but he's really losing a lot of luster here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough spot, and obviously we know it transitions out at some point too. But Callis and the red shirt security interrupt him, and they said, I was like, you know what? It's funny you mentioned it. I was just about to implement health insurance right after I got done installing the mineral spa in the back, which I was dying. Because like they all kind of give that look to each other, like, fuck. And then Callis turns it on Watts, and he basically turns the issue on like Rick Santel's arm on Watts. He goes, wait a minute, technically that happened in the ring, and you're in charge of in-ring issues, so that's your problem, not mine. I was like, ooh, that's actually a really smart little tie-in. That was pretty good. I like that.
I like the tie-in. Well, I like the health insurance tie-in because it's still an issue for them. That's like a battle they're still fighting very like publicly to this day.
Whatever happened with the Andrew Yang thing? He was so like balls to the wall about like doing it, and then he stopped.
I don't know. I bet you he picks it back up. Andrew Yang seems like a man of his word. I don't think he's going to forget about it. He seems to be like a legitimate, dude.
He was like balls to the wall, like working with like the Screen Actors Guild and everything about like, we're going to get it for these guys. Then he just like dropped it. I haven't heard shit.
Things take time. Who knows?
It's true. Maybe something's going on in the background. Where they borrow his campaign fund just got a huge donation from Stanford. Who knows? One of the two could have happened.
I don't think he wouldn't take it. He didn't take any corporate donations.
Did he? No, really?
And Andrew Yang's a real Asian brother, dude. Andrew Yang's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't fucking take money from a scumbag piece of shit like Vince McMahon. I got you, Bret Hart. I got you, Bret Hart.
Brett's happy about that.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at here? Let's see.
Okay. We are at Siaki and Ekmo, right? So,
well, before that though, we get a little recap of the TNA interview with Piper about him being canned and is it time to move on? But the audio issues killed the final word on this thing,
dude.
He's like, do you have any final words on where you stand right now? And the audio beeped it or out. They cut the audio.
I thought it was a fucking work for a second.
That's what I thought.
I was like, there's no way it was that perfectly terrible, but it was.
I was hoping it was a work because when they came back, I thought TNA would address it. Like, damn, they even cut his final words out. Like I thought they would, but it's like, no, the audio burned out. I was like, come on, man.
This whole episode was just like a minefield,
plagued with audio issues. I don't know what happened here.
It was really bad. This was the worst one.
This was, and then we always joke like, oh, it's a new guy on the staff or something. They didn't know what to do, but this one was weird. Like they just weren't flipping the right switch, and I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we missing these audio cues?
What great insight, though, that we have somebody who understands wrestling production and can explain to us exactly why this was so shitty that night.
It's literally a flip. It's a flip of a switch to go to just kick that interface that's your microphone into the TV feed. That's all it is. Like, it's not hard.
So somebody's basically literally missing a cue.
He's missing a cue.
and then it's missed.
I mean, the cue is when the guy picks up the microphone or when the promo ends. You just flip it back and forth. Weird. That one bothered me. But Siaki and Ekmo here, who was Jamal. Was he Jamal or Umaga later on?
Yeah. Jamal before, then Ekmo, then Umaga. Yes.
And Umaga.
Yeah.
So Ekmo, he's part of the NWA family. The whole cousin Yokozuna, Roman Reigns' cousin. He is the son of the other brother of the Wild Samoans, like their third brother who wasn't a wrestler, I guess. So he's their son.
Ekmo's got the look. He looks the part.
Well, he ends up being Umaga as a huge run.
Yeah.
Which is sad that he dies 6 years after this. Was it a heart attack? How did he die?
I believe it was heart attack brought on by drug overdose. It was here in Houston. He lived here.
He was.
Yeah.
Jay is a huge fan of his. So, and they're against Mad Mikey and Shark Boy. It was a basics. I mean, it was I wrote basic squash, but it wasn't it was a squash.
A lot of good tandem stuff at the start, trying to keep Ekmo out of the ring. I really liked that.
They didn't. Cool. I don't think Mikey and Sharky looked bad though. That's the thing. They don't look like shit.
You weren't expecting just the size differential alone. Commentary kept talking about Ekmo being 400 plus pounds and 100 or 200 pound difference in weight, which I mean we know is exaggerated. But point being, commentary was really selling the differential hard. Like it didn't make them look bad. I didn't think they came out looking bad. Like I didn't expect Shark Boy and Mad Mikey to go out there and take it to a dude Ekmo's size.
Yeah. Adam saying it was HGH inflated his heart. That sucks. The heart stuff. Oof, that stuff will get you, man. Tough. But it was a pretty simple match. Ekmo and Siaki win. Post-match beatdown. D'Lo makes the save. Brawls with Ekmo. Trinity comes in, gets power bombed.
Gets a throw down.
Yeah, she gets taken down quick. The red shirts then come in and they handcuff D'Lo. Like they go full on security. Again, I think Kevin Northcutt every time he's on screen looks cool as shit. I think he's just a badass. That dude looks like he can fuck you up. They should have
swapped him and Watts.
Fuck, man. Because Northcutt can wrestle. I just want to hear him like cut some promos. He just has a look. He has a look that could pass today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they handcuffed D'Lo, get him out of there. So that was it. So this feud is on. This is on, like for sure. D'Lo's fighting the Authority. So I don't mind it. When D'Lo's a face, he's a good face. Like he is the company guy, heroic. I like that about D'Lo. People get behind him very easily.
I think D'Lo's easy to get behind. He's a good tweener. He can really do both.
He is. He's a likable guy, so you can get behind D'Lo. We go to a sit down with Simon and Swinger and Glenn Gilberti along with David Young.
I can't take Johnny Swinger like this, man.
This is tough.
I just can't. It's fucking with my head. Every time he says something, I'm like, what the?
Especially when he's serious, you know, when he's like angry. I'm this
like
guy.
Laughing, and I'm like laughing at him.
I like this guy.
And I want my pizzles back.
That's Johnny Swinger. Okay, exactly. That's Swingman to me. Not the mean guy.
I don't know who this imposter is. This is not the real Johnny Swinger.
When he's like, TNA, you don't care about me. None of these people care about me. And I was like, wait, no. Everybody loves you.
Yeah, man. You're over, Daddy.
You're over, Daddy. A lot of cash. Come on, Swingers Palace, Wrestle House. You're the man, dude. But they talk about how basically like the title win, and then Johnny Swinger's emergency appendectomy, and that's when he's like, you don't care about me.
Most people, it would take a year, 6 months. I'm back in 1 week.
I'm back in a week. I love that. It's a great interview because then they get to Glenn and Disco, and he's talking about like they're talking about his managerial skill of getting these guys to the title.
Hold on, I just need to address Zach Bonifer really quick. Zach, maybe we can get D'Lo on the show sometime in 2024. Zach, all I have to say to that is we could only get 2 of us fucking here to even do this show, so I don't think we're getting D'Lo.
No, we're getting.
Look around, man. Look around. Look, there's 2 of us. You know what? I almost did the show by myself tonight, and I don't even know how to run it. So,
full transparency with the TNI fam right here is that we are already talking to the team about D'Lo. It's just a matter of when, guys. That's all. Just a matter of when. Especially now that it's on Tuesday, it is a lot easier to get some of these guys, and so for the older guys. So we are already talking. It's just a matter of setting it up. It's been a busy couple of weeks, but we will get more. Throwback is getting some more guests. D'Lo for sure will be on here.
And D'Lo, I mean, come on, guys. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't just say, hey, D'Lo, come be on our show. And he's like, Brown. Oh, yeah, right away. Sure, I'll come right over. That doesn't just happen, man.
Yeah, come on. You got to take your time with D'Lo. It's D'Lo Brown. And give it a break. Give some time. Let it marinate for a minute.
Man, they're getting demanding here, right?
They are. Well, here's the thing. We give them guests every day for 2 months. Every week for 2 months. And then the 1 week we don't get the guests, we took a breather from guests. And they're like, "What have you done for us lately, TNI?"
It's just been a wild. It's been a wild last week, right? We've had some strange combinations, like some alchemy going on here.
Well, yeah, it was a busy week. That the day changed, the personal stuff going on. There's traveling, there's personal life stuff. It's been a busy couple weeks, guys. April turned out to be a busy fucking month. So. Man, Cody wants my ex-wife on the show.
I think we all do. I think we could probably fund that first house you're looking to buy if we played our cards right.
Oh, shit, man. Can you imagine?
Yes, I've imagined it before.
I'm to the point where like it'd be just ridiculous and it'd be funny if she came on this
show.
Oh
man. And like you would just get crucified. We'd have to have Ingrid on at the same time.
Oh my God. It'd be free for all.
We could get Bravo on. Maybe Kyle could come back for a special appearance.
It would be the golden episode.
But see, here's the thing. If we put it behind a paywall, we could possibly get that house, or we could all just retire. Or, I don't know what the fuck we could do. Anything we want. I mean, sound off in the chat if you'd pay to see Trent's ex-wife on an episode.
Are you kidding? Truck alone would fund my down payment with that one. If the ex, and then you tie in the nurse to that whole thing that she has a face off where the nurse patches in on this, forget it. You think Deanna and Jordan was a great feud this year? Go.
And we can get Gia to host.
Shit, like cutting a promo. Oh my God, gold, Jerry, gold.
Man, all right.
What
were we doing?
I like the Disco here makes a great point about him being a manager. How he's building an army. He's like, I'm not like these managers of the 80s, but we're gonna walk around here with a tennis racket, okay? And I was like, I love that line. That was good. I love this though. He's like, I'm building an army, and I'm not gonna make the same mistakes we made with Sports Entertainment Extreme, which I thought was a great little kick to say we screwed up with leadership in that group. I'm not screwing up here. So they talk about David Young at this point, right? And David Young, and then about him being a vital part. He made the pin last week, this and that. And then Disco's like, he's like, well, David, you did your job, but you're not part of the group. You're not part of it. And he's like, wait, what? He said, Glenn, I was there. I did everything you asked me to do. I'm not part of the group. He's like, no, you're not part. He's like, you did a job. You got paid to do a job. That's it. Yeah, you made the pin, but that's it. He goes, you know what? I'll give you a chance. He goes, how about tonight? If you can prove yourself against the Sandman, take my place and fight the Sandman. So you prove it. And
why was Gilberti booked against Sandman?
I don't know. Anyway,
who booked that shit?
Who booked that? You know what? Because Jim Mitchell is on Throwback. I think we can play this.
Who booked this?
Why was he though? Like, why was Glenn booked against?
I have no fucking clue.
Where did the Sandman come back from all of a sudden?
And why did he come back to fight Glenn Gilberti? They got no beef.
Gotta get that Disco, son of a bitch.
This shit was so random. Oh, whatever. We accept it. It was just TNA Asylum years. Some things
it's just wild.
Some things are just fucking wild. Yeah.
I love how wild it is. That's why I love it. It's just wild.
It really is. You have a certain type of you have to be able to really let stuff go to truly enjoy it. If you're one of those people who's hung up on bullshit and like, this isn't for you. If you just like a good fun romp of wrestling in action, these shows are totally for you.
What I love the most is was Glenn and Kenny Boland's show tonight? No shit. You're listening to Kenny Boland's show? He's a great. He was a OVW manager for a long time.
Okay.
Former best friend of Jim Cornette. They grew up. Him and Jim Cornette were childhood friends.
Okay.
Grew up together, and they had a fallout when Boland became pals with Russo. So of course Cornette couldn't take that. But Kenny Boland's a great host too. I haven't listened to the show in a long time, but he was the funniest shit. It's cool that Glenn was on the show. I gotta check that out, Zach. Thanks for the heads up. No, they're wild. And imagine this was a Wednesday night. If you lived in Nashville and you're like, I'm gonna go to the fights tonight, and talk about breaking up your week, man. This is
no shit. $10 or whatever it costs to get into the asylum.
I remember the GAs, at least in the beginning, in year one, and the asylum were $15 for GA.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing, man. I'd be buying everybody stuff like, come on in, we're rolling.
Yeah,
let's go. Good
man,
stuff.
I pay more than that for my VFW local.
Right? It's like, man, $15.
You could have seen Raven for $15
for a GA. Would have been awesome, man.
Yeah,
the shit. We go to the back. Scott Hudson's with Jeff Jarrett and Dusty
again.
He is all. I always see where Bill means when Hudson's booked. He is everywhere. God damn it!
He is all over the place.
Now, from what I understand, it's because Goldie was on tour with her band. That's when all this Hudson and Terry Taylor stuff's come into play, because she was touring at the time. So when she's on tour, that's when Hudson's there. So that's how that tie-in happens.
Okay.
They talk about the match and what's going to happen tonight, but then they cut right to Russo and AJ, and Russo's super frustrated with AJ and why he promised all these things, yada yada yada. So Russo just getting frustrated throughout the show. Little peak points of Russo like losing it throughout the show. Then it's David Young and Sandman. Quick match, right? Like I just wrote Sandman beats Young, not bad.
I wrote Sandman via Swanton. Match was fast. That's what I wrote. It was just a pretty standard match. Yeah, there was nothing. I mean, it was not a hardcore match, so the Sandman actually had to wrestle.
Yeah, that's true. Well, again, David Young is a very underrated wrestler.
Man, I'm not as high on Young as you guys, just because the looks thing gets me, man. He just doesn't have the look I'm looking for. Yeah, it's just not the look. I mean, he's sufficient. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he can work. He absolutely can work. They rave about his spine buster. It is really good. Yeah, dude can work. But there's the character, the look, the whole thing doesn't work for me. But there's a place for people who can work on the roster, right? Mm-hmm. Not everybody's a champion. Dude's a fine worker. Yeah,
he's a good utility player.
Yeah,
and they do use him more for that as the show goes on. He ends up being a good utility guy. But you need those guys on a roster too. That's very important.
That's if I can bring up some old shit that's painful. Adam Thornstowe made a good point from Reno Scum. If you missed that, go back. We had Adam Thornstowe from Reno Scum on, I don't know, about a month ago on the main shows. Fantastic guests. They've since been released from Impact Wrestling, but we are all still Reno Scum fans. I think I speak for the whole show. So yeah, there still are guys, but he made a great point. And he said, not everybody can be champions. Like, you need guys to be, jobbers or at the bottom of the card, or, taking losses for other guys. And he said that, like, they were happy to do that because you're still there. You're still living the dream just because you're not a champion. Not everybody can be the champion. And that's true, right? People like David Young, people like Jerry Lynn, even though he's a multi-time champion, he spent a lot more time not holding a belt than
it's true.
Champion. Dean Malenko.
Dean is a great example. It's just you need utility players who will get their moments, but you need guys at skill levels like them who can elevate the rest of your roster too. Merely by working with them, that's
absolutely.
A big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
you know what?
Good.
You know what? If you had repackaged David Young to be more like modern Sami Callihan, it could have worked.
That's an interesting take.
Because talk about a guy who can put anyone over, can work a variety of styles, solid bell to bell. Sami obviously has a lot more in the charisma and my skills department, whatever. But if you had just given David Young some kind of look that more fit, like he just looks like a dude in trunks,
Which is funny because it's a lot of my beef with guys today is that dudes in trunks.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were booking a guy, and some of you guys on the East Coast might know Alex Garcia. He's I think a Buffalo guy. We're booking him for a show coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, what's Alex Garcia? Like, what is it? Alex Garcia. That's your name. What are you? Is there a nickname? Is there a moniker?
Right.
What is he? Dude in trunks? Like, what's the character? Like, why is everybody just like Blake Christian? We had, everybody's like, what's Blake Christian? What is he? What are you?
I know what Black Taurus is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking bull that will beat the shit out of you. That's great. Badass. Apparently, he's evil as fuck too, and hangs out with dead people. So
like
demons.
Things like that.
It's badass, man.
Ace Austin is a cut from stone. He's a privileged kid. Basically, essentially, like he's a athletically privileged kid from.
He's Gambit.
He's Gambit. He's Gambit.
Yeah.
Super athletically privileged, and
give me something, even if it's. Like Tasha Steelz is the Boricua badass, right? Or she always has the Cuban sleeve. No matter what her gear is, she has that sleeve. So, like, give me something. Don't just. That's again, David Young. I think that's why he doesn't do it for me, because he's not particularly. If you're just a dude in trunks, but you're like fire on the mic, maybe.
Sure.
But he's just like adequate as a background dude on the mic.
Right.
Good in the ring, but they're not giving him anything to elevate to. So for me, at least at this point, David Young is just there.
There's a lot of guys like that. And some of the beef I have with today's stuff is that they're just dudes on mic, dudes with trunks, dudes on a mic. Give me something to hang on to here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the. But again, I remember from what I recall, he starts getting used in a very interesting way. So stay tuned on the David Young thing. He's still David Young, but a character develops after this a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see here. So yeah, Hudson with Jeff Jarrett and Russo. And to back up a second, Simon and Sawyer come back and attack David Young because he feels bad, and then 3 Live Crew makes a save, and they save him. So 3 Live Crew saves David Young. Keep that in the back pocket. Hudson's with Jeff Jarrett. Russo confronts him to get out of the match, and he's all pissed off. And he's like, "God, Jarrett, you owe me." And Jarrett's like, "I'll shove this up your ass, bad up your ass, this and that." So there's just like no love lost there. Okay. The last two are gonna spend like a couple more minutes on, then we're gonna wrap on that. So we made pretty good time today. We're only in an hour. Yeah. New Church and Vampiro taking on 3 Live Crew. Shane Douglas goes to commentary on this, so it's just Sinn and Slash along with Vampiro. You texted me and I saw it later on. Vampiro was terrible here.
This is like the worst performance from a marquee name I have ever seen in my life. Like,
and TNA was even so like he's been keeping busy in the IWA promotion in Puerto Rico. I'm like, are you kidding? I thought it looked like the guy hasn't wrestled in 5 years at this point.
Dude, I mean, so you bring this guy out, he gets no offense. He's doing nothing but selling poorly for like 10 minutes.
He was caught up in moves, stumbling.
Yeah, missing calls, like getting caught up in the ropes. The spin kick he delivers later on is like laughable. This, I don't know what was going on, like in his shoot, like in his real life at the time, but he looks not capable in the ring in this match. This whole match is a disaster, honestly.
It is. It's short too because of that, I think. I think I'm an audible. I truly am convinced it was an audible on this.
I 100% agree with you. This match, from the first minute and a half, looks lost. And then Vampiro gets involved, and it just disintegrates and tumbles downhill from there. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
This one, it got me because you can tell there was a lot of covering up. Like at one point, you can even see Konnan kind of get frustrated at Vampiro not following through with the move, and he kind of like pushes it through a little bit.
Oh, that's when he gives him a stiff arm clothesline.
Yeah. And they have a lot of heat. I mean, they have a lot of history too.
Yeah.
But he stiff arms. Even Truth hits a little bit of that snap kick that he does. Like they're all trying to like make it as dynamic as they can. Even BG was more athletic than normal, just to make up for this shit.
Yeah.
It was just off the Slash and Sinn did everything they could, and the first half of the match they did everything they could to keep
they put up a variety of offense on him and to have him sell, but like you could tell that just nobody was in sync, and Vampiro was like on another planet.
And as a character, like Jay's a huge Vampiro fan, and I agree. He's a great character, but man, I don't know what happened here,
dude. Like, I mean, I'm particularly a big fan of the Dark character, so I love his look. I've always liked like what he had to bring to the table, but maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. And this appears there's no way this is his normal reign. It's been a long time since I saw Vampiro wrestle, but this was just. I texted you immediately. Like,
I know what the hell?
He looks bad.
Yeah. I think they called the audible at this point because it's not a long match. Raven comes and attacks Vampiro right away.
Yep.
Chokes Jim Mitchell. Shane then he goes and attacks Raven. Raven gets a little upper hand at the end of this,
He Jeff Jarrett's this entire ring.
He needed to. He's been getting murdered out there, right?
Yes.
He gets on the mic and he cuts a great promo. Like, I'll let you take it because this is your boy. This is your guy now.
He goes on this rant about humiliation, which is a continuation of like the destruction of his character and the physical appearance of his character and the missed opportunities it belts and like the brokenness and shattered character. Like
he takes single themes
and weaves them
faceted themes about personality and order and being, and then he weaves them into every like this one was about shame and embarrassment like that. I mean, how they did that to him. Go ahead.
Yeah, and ultimately it culminates with him basically going down a hit list, and he's like Vampiro, New Church, Shane Douglas. I'm going to take all of you out, one by one until there's nobody left except for you, Mitchell. And that's when you're going to, when I'm going to find you. And what does he say? Dream blood, Jim Mitchell. Dream blood. Like Raven. He's the fucking goddamn best wrestler ever. He is a talent like we have never seen. Every era of Raven in ECW, when I went back and I watched his early ECW shit, this run, his later run here, his WCW run, carrying Goldberg to the best match of his career. Raven deserves all the praise in the world. I would pay $10 every week just to watch Raven.
He's a draw.
This promo made me forget about Vampiro sucking shit in this match, because immediately after that text about Vampiro was something about like, thank God for Raven or something. Raven can make you forget about everything, because that's what somebody who is a storyteller can do. They can immediately draw you in. And if you followed Raven's career, you've been listening to his story forever, because it has had the same and similar themes. If you've listened to the man or read anything he's written in real life, you know that that's like the real person he is. He's just crafted this character that fits on screen, but the dude is like a mental, like gigantor genius, and it shows in his work.
He when he looks right at the camera and he's like, Jim Mitchell, you hurt me, and I was like, and like you feel it at that moment. You're like, and he's like, you hurt me, but I'm gonna hurt you. You know, like I'm gonna, now's my time for revenge. I don't forget people who hurt me. But when he does that brilliant pause, Jim Mitchell, you hurt me, and it's like you connect to the character. You just get it right there. You understand that this is a guy like the tortured soul. The Raven character is the perpetual tortured soul, right? On his own account. And it like the whole thing about Raven was you did this to yourself. The whole ECW feud, it's like, you did this to you're your own worst enemy. So in that moment, in this part, it's like there's that little bit of Raven where you're listening to him and you're like, man, he kind of almost blames himself for allowing this to happen. And then he goes into like, well, I'm going to fix it now. Like I'm in, man. Like when he starts talking, I'm like that ongoing theme of you're your own worst enemy. Because like the Raven character would blame himself a little bit for allowing it to happen. Like you hurt me, but I fucking let you hurt me. And that sucks. I'm pissed off about it.
He's the most sincere character I think I've ever seen in wrestling. I love everything about Raven. My Mount Rushmore is just Raven 4 times. Like it's so hard. It's so hard to say there's anyone that I honestly think is as good as Raven.
It's
like
just,
Rick. Yeah, it's Scott Levy 4 times. Like Rick Flair
is it Johnny Polo Raven?
No, it's just Raven.
Dreadlock Raven, and then
I like Dreadlock Raven. Don't hate. Hardcore champion WWF Raven, yeah, whatever. He's still my Raven. I love every
Sunday Night Heat Raven, like Skull saying in the chat.
Fuck yeah, it was Sunday Night Heat Raven. Hell yeah, that was awesome, man. Those were good years. You know what? Any Raven, I'll take any Raven. Like seriously, Flair may be like my favorite champion. And like they're like great wrestlers and great talents, and everybody has their moment. But like, if you just had to pick like one guy to watch his whole career and say like, this is an art form, that's probably the guy you would pick, because he's told a brilliant story for so many years. He's had some of the most legendary feuds. He's done it over and over and over and over again, so many times that it's not coincidence, it's genius.
I love every iteration of Raven. I mean, WCW Raven.
Hell yeah, WCW Raven.
I have that's the Raven shirt I have is WCW one with the Ankh on it.
I love the dude, his feuds with Mortis, like / Canyon. I mean, again, the Goldberg match, the deconstruction of the flock, like the Riggs turn. Raven is
even. Did you like spoiled rich kid Raven when it's revealed he was a rich kid from the suburbs?
No, I hated it. I hated it. I fucking hated it.
It was funny as shit though when they're like.
But in the lore of Raven, I have to accept it as canon because that was the real, like, legitimate.
It was so good. Like when they're like at his house and he's all depressed. I'm like, what are you upset? Because when the sun shines and yet there's still a dark cloud hanging over you, and the rain constantly likes to look at you and drown you in its own sorrow. You can't help but look at yourself in the mirror and wonder why you breathe this same air as the dark cloud that forms the torrential downpour that is my life. And then I don't know, I made that up. Colt the Raven, nevermore. But like it's like DDP is like, are you done? Like, are you serious? Let's go hang out at the pool.
Oh man, his shit with DDP too. Like, I don't think did he ever go over DDP?
Yeah, he took Paige. Paige was always good about jobbing people.
Yeah, he was, but I didn't. Yeah, it's hard to remember everything that happened.
Paige didn't do the ego thing. DDP was not about that ego. So yeah, the feud with Raven, that's a lost feud. The DDP feud with Raven's a great one. Obviously, Tommy Dreamer is his greatest of all time, but
yeah,
but you know what? The Shane Douglas feud and the Jarrett. I don't care. The end result sucked, but the Jarrett feud in TNA was fucking phenomenal.
Hell yeah, great,
fucking phenomenal.
Anything if you just let Raven work, he's going to give you a great feud. Again, his feud
let
with
him
Canyon,
have it though. Let him have the creativity. That's the key with Raven. Let him do what he wants to do.
And that's why when you had him with Canyon, it was like a fucking explosion of creativity. You had the most creative guy to ever step foot in a ring and the most creative guy to ever step foot behind a mic or a camera. And then you put them together and you said, fucking go. And they went. Man, I need to go back and find that WCW stuff.
That's worth watching, man. That's worth watching.
Yeah,
it's good shit. It's just good shit. So no, I love Raven, but this feud's not over. You know, this feud's not over. So this is going to be fun to just let it keep peeling back.
Well,
I'm excited about it.
Now, what I like is this is technically now we get the third act, right? This is Raven's revenge.
This is the revenge. This is the best part.
This is the best act. I can't wait.
Now he, again, as we know, he gets the NWA title in 05. 04, 05. 04, 05. Fuck, I'm lost now. Probably 05. No, sorry, 04. He gets it in a year-ish. And it's like it's a year too late. You know what I mean? At that point, it's a year too late, a year and a half too late at that point. It's great when he wins it, but I remember like he loses it in a weird way, like on a house show for Scott D'Amore and BCW. Like it was weird.
It's like the typical missed opportunity TNA Impact we talk about sometimes.
It's like you pulled the trigger too late, you know, on it, and it's
Moose, Rascals,
right? The Rascals been a huge one. Moose,
Rascals hurts.
Moose is still, you could still save the Moose one right now. It's very doable depending on what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
However, because my prediction is, you know, we'll talk about that on TNI, but on the other show, on the post show, but Moose can still be saved, but the Rascals is a missed one. There's been several, but the Raven one, I never forget it because to me, it's like, man,
dude, that first time with Jarrett, like we still reference the pop in the crowd that night as being one of the possibly the hottest Asylum crowd. It's up there for sure. Raven, every time he's on screen, I mean, look at our chat, like they all feel the same way as me, and so does the Asylum. Everywhere he goes, he's so over. And in this,
so good
coming out of the Fed, where he was shit on and misused. And that's a fact, Jack, like confirmed by Jim Ross recently that Vince McMahon is a fucking idiot and didn't like
he never
Raven.
got the character, right? He
never understood Raven. But anyways, like he was coming out hot, and that momentum just carries and carries and carries. And even when he fucking loses to Jarrett, he's still more over than probably everyone except D'Lo.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
But no, this is really the Raven angle is TNA Raven is just one of the best. It's probably my favorite iteration of Raven. Honestly, I love ECW Raven, and TNA Raven to me is when he came into his own. Big
dude,
time.
I love Raven when he came back to ECW as like a kind of face and tag with Dreamer. That's probably
that was fun too. That was fun, and he's like hated him, but he was like gonna still do his thing.
I love that Raven.
Like I used to love in that when he would DDT Dreamer just to get him out of the way so he can make the pin. Like, that was the best to me. It's like Dreamer would have the match won, but then like he'd DDT Dreamer, move him out of the way, then he'd go do the pin and just slink out of the ring.
That was one of my favorite examples of like
I love it.
This thing as a tag team. Like that's a rote trope that we see a bunch, but they did it well.
So brilliant.
Yeah, Raven can make anything work.
Oh, absolutely. He's just a 5-tool player, right? He can do anything.
Absolutely.
All right.
And next on Raven's Lovin'.
Yeah. Main event. AJ and Russo with Trinity in their corner, taking on Dusty and Jeff Jarrett. Dusty's super over here, by the way. Like this is peak Dusty Rhodes. Like
he cut a fire ass promo earlier in the night.
He did. He got the troops riled up. No question about it. Yeah. But Dusty's like super over right here. It's a fun match. It's exactly what you thought it would be. You know, I knew it wasn't going to be a technical marvel of a match. You know, But for what I wanted it to be, it was. That's it. That's what I wanted. And it's just goofy. It's back and forth. But the Dusty ends up pinning AJ while slapping his ass. Like, did you catch that? He rolls him up, and as the referee's counting 1, 2, 3, he slapped
it to make sure I saw it. I don't know, man. I didn't like that. I didn't like that
purely for the fact that it was like you're goofing on the kid we're supposed to take serious. He's a champion now. He's a world champ. I mean,
that's my problem.
like everything aside, he's the world champion, and you're sitting there slapping his 2 weeks in a row. You're slapping his bare ass. Like, you know, it's a little goofy.
Yeah, last week I could let it slide, but yeah, 2 weeks in a row, I don't know. I don't think it makes your champion look very
last
good.
Week you let it slide because Trinity was on screen.
Yes, but still, that's whatever. I let it slide. Whatever, doesn't matter why. but basically, AJ wrestles a handicap match here for the most part, right?
Yeah, because Russo's not involved in it.
Yeah, and then I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I just didn't really like this match. I mean, again,
it wasn't anything. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting a technical marvel, so I'm definitely not knocking it for that. I'm with you there, but like, it didn't even move the stories forward in a way that I kind of like wanted them to. The one thing I will say very positive about this match, and this is gonna sound weird. Jarrett's hot tag sequence here was fantastic. He looked so good. The elevation on the back body drop on AJ, and then just everything he did after that was really, really solid. Some really great in-ring work from Jarrett. I thought I should point it out because I'm always shitting on the dude. So yeah.
And take us away, Jeff Jarrett. Regardless of anything, whether you like him or not, he's got the psychology of professional wrestling down to a science, man. The guy knows how to do it. He knows how to work.
Psychologically, he's very good worker.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the experience. You know, the experience is built in with him, so he knows what he's doing in there. I can never take that away from Jeff Jarrett. The guy knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah, so. And you know what I will say too, watching this. The one thing that I have noticed about Jarrett that I don't think I realized before is that he's a very good ring general too, because of that experience. Yeah. Whenever things get chaotic, I always look for Jarrett, and it seems like he's the one gaining control of the situation.
Yeah. He knew what to do. But here's the thing. So they win. Faces win. Dusty and Jarrett.
The spank pin. The Dusty spank pin.
Now here's where it gets weird, and that's the last segment of the show, guys. So AJ's pissed about the loss, and then he get horrible AJ on the mic here.
Oh my God, Texas monkey eating contest.
He's like, I challenge you to you. He's like, next week. Oh God, you fat boy, I'm gonna challenge you next week. And he goes, I don't care if it's a Texas pie eating contest or a Texas bunkhouse match or a Texas whatever or yeah, I don't care. I'll challenge you. I don't care if it's a Texas monkey eating contest. Like, I was like, what?
It was just embarrassingly bad.
I was like, AJ, just you don't have to say so much. You could have just said half.
This is where Russo should have stepped in, though.
Exactly.
Right?
Why
you've got a veteran right there? Yeah, Vince should have jumped in right here. I'll put this one on him. AJ's still pretty green on the mic here.
It was just, there was so much being said, and I was like, why are you saying like? Why are we talking so much? And I literally was like this.
Sadly, understood about half of that.
That's literally what I was thinking the whole time. But so then Dusty says, I'll do it only if you agree to put the NWA World Championship on the line. And AJ quickly agrees. But here's the brilliance was Dusty says it, and you see Jarrett here, and he turns to him. He's like, the fuck? You know, like, wait, you just what? And then they're pissed off at each other, right? Because then on commentary, TNA and West are like, they're going out and they're like, well, it just screws up everything for Jeff Jarrett. But then I wrote in my notes, why? What changes for Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, he still gets a title shot in 2 weeks. No matter.
That's what I said. I'm like, why are you upset?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand either. If anything, if Dusty lucks out and wins, you've probably got an easier shot at this,
right? And like. TNA and West are selling it like this whole thing throws Jarrett's plans off.
Yeah.
Or his, but I'm like,
I didn't get it either. Even if it's a bunkhouse match and he beats the shit out of AJ and AJ wins, you've got a weakened AJ. It's a win-win for Jarrett.
That's what I couldn't figure out. I'm like, and they go off the air with those two angry at each other and they go off the air. But I was like, wait a minute. You have a guaranteed title match. Just because he's leapfrogging his title match, Dusty. Well, it doesn't matter. You still have a title match.
Probably because Jarrett wants that Dusty shine. Because come on now, Dusty's near the end of his career. You know, Jarrett wants to get some of that shine too.
I mean, I get it, but it was just like
it
didn't constitute him being like, no, fuck you, Dusty. You jumped in front of me, you got title shots. Like, you already have a title shot coming up, though.
Well, wrestling is all about suspension of disbelief. But this was one of those times where it is irksome. There are certain things that even though we're pretending the entire time we're watching this, or we're living in fantasy while we're watching this, sometimes there are those things that just get to you. And that's one of those things. I noticed it too. I was like, why would he care? This doesn't make any sense. It benefits him. I was like, it benefits him either way. But for whatever reason, they wanted that story. I'm guessing it's because Jarrett wanted a match with Dusty. Like, I know I would. I'm not going to hate on him for that, but I don't know.
I mean, he's the upset that it's like, you get yours first. It's like, cool, but you get yours in 3 weeks.
You know what? Dusty's pinned AJ twice in a row. Maybe this is just the past. Is this Dusty's final match coming up? Maybe.
No, I think he wrestles like a couple novelty ones after this. Like,
oh, that's right. TNA. He has a bunkhouse match really late.
Yeah, and he also does some. He goes up north for a little bit too. I think they do like a Legends match or something.
Oh, really?
He goes back up there because he ends up taking over with NXT. But he does like
NXT. I didn't know
there was some Legends match that he ends up getting involved in. I believe with like Steamboat and a bunch of guys like Piper.
Oh, yeah, against Jericho.
It was at Mania, I think. It was at a WrestleMania.
Oh, he was in that match. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, I actually liked that. I remember because Steamboat got the big arm drag, the deep arm drags in on Jericho. And he
looked amazing at like 65. And it was like, holy shit. And then they were going to go into a solo program. And then he had the heart attack with Steamboat. Yeah. That's why he couldn't go into it. But that's it, guys. That's 64. That went off the air with that. I'm curious what happens next week.
I didn't like this ending though. It didn't really leave me like,
it was a conflict built on nothing. You had no reason to be in Dusty's face, pissed off at him that he gets the title, that he got AJ to give him a title shot. You already have one.
Well, and you've got a couple of really strong angles here anyways. You didn't need to muddle it up with this like last minute. It doesn't affect, just the way the show went off left me really, really flat in general. The match itself and the after the match, like the final segment of the show too.
I would have went off if that's the case, I could have gone off the air with Raven on the mic. They're making the threat like next week. That's how it is, but it's not as chaotic at the end. It's I don't know. I guess this was the only thing you could have go off the air with this week, but just left me a little flat.
Yeah, this was another we hit a high point from 53 up into the early 60s, and I think we've hit a little bit of a lull here. These are still good, exciting episodes with great wrestling in them, and the stories are coming together. But there's some clunkiness here and there. There are just certain things that could be done better. It's not as exciting as it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Right. At least not. I would say this this is October 1st, 03. I would say the September shows were not as sharp and exciting.
Yes.
They were fun. You'll never hear me shit on them. I love them.
We haven't had a bad episode, I don't think.
But they had such a hot summer, and they were almost like letting the pie cool on the windowsill.
When you put it like that, that makes sense because it was really hot.
It was
from 52 up to 60, and then it's gotten in September, right? So that makes perfect sense.
Think about it. The summertime was on fire, and then now they're letting it cool. They're letting it simmer, and you almost feel like they're gonna let it just explode. Now that it's like, okay, we let it simmer, marinate, now just kill it. So, yeah, a little bit of a lull, just a scale thing. Again, and when we say lull, it's almost I feel bad because they're not lull. They're exciting shows. It's just the summer 03 shows were like way up here. So these are lower. They set the bar so high. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think anyone who listened, I don't think would take away that we're shitting on these shows.
Not at all. I love these.
Just these are simply just not as good as the ones we've been watching. They still have their moments, but they've got some major flaws, especially like with the production in this episode. The refereeing is becoming a real issue. We didn't even really touch on the refereeing because we kind of flew through this, but I mean, there was some stuff that Charles in the main event was like staring right at weapons as they were being used. We had like interference that people were like, I forget who was even reffing, but it was just a lot of inconsistent officiating throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, so that's it, guys. That's the episode. That's how we went off the air. So we'll see what 65 brings. I'll be curious.
Hopefully Vampiro's in better shape next week.
Shit, man. That to me was just a fucking...
Dude, it was the worst debut performance. It was worse than Steiner Triple H at whatever that was, Rumble 2001.
Oh, God.
It was like worse than that. like that comes to mind as like a really bad debut. You know, like it was bad.
We'll see what if he gets any better. But that's it, man. We're gonna end it here. So don't forget, guys. Every Tuesday is throwbacks now. Thursday is the post show for Impact and Access TV. As soon as Impact goes off the air, we are here to discuss discuss Impact Wrestling. And so we're here every Tuesday with the post show. Guests always flying through TNI. Always got people in here. No guest announced for this week, but we gave you a lot recently, so we might have a last minute one this week, but we'll see how it goes. So every Tuesday throwback, Thursday is post show, and then the UK guys are going to be moving to Wednesday from now on.
Starting, no kidding.
Yeah. Not this week, because they were just on. They did a live on Friday, last Friday, about the Hardcore Justice preview, and then they were on the review for Hardcore Justice's post show on Saturday. So really nothing to talk about right now, but going forward, there'll be a Wednesday show, because there's no sense in them going Friday, because we're doing the post show Thursdays.
Yeah,
you'd just be muddying it up on Friday. So they'll start doing a news of the week and a preview. So you're getting a preview.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So TNI has started bringing you a preview show now
every
Wednesday night, which I like too. And super impressed with Bison, Joe, and Steve. They did a fantastic job last week. And Bison and Steve joined Alicia and I for the Hardcore Justice review, and they were great. Excellent analysis. Super proud of them. Did a great job. And even Impact themselves reached out and gave us a good shout out for that review. So they said we really liked the review. So thank you guys for that. So everyone must remember, guys, we're basically midweek show now. Tuesday throwback, Wednesday UK, Thursday post show. That's the schedule. So follow it, rate, review, and subscribe over at the youtube.com/total-nonstop-impact, twitch.tv/total-nonstop-impact, all audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. Guys, connect, get on audio, take it on the go with you. Wherever you listen to audio podcasts, it's on there. So definitely connect with us there. Mark, where can people follow you?
I am easy. MARKQ World Order, Mark World Order on Twitter. You can also find me on the We Talk Impact Twitter account. Usually that's me chatting it up with you guys and asking stuff about, like, should Caleb with a K be in the Knockouts division?
That didn't go over too well.
No. Well, it wasn't a go over. It was a do we or yes or no. But Caleb, sorry, buddy. They don't want you in the Knockouts division. They did not want you in the Knockouts
We
did get a lot of interesting comments and suggestions about what they should do with Caleb, though. And I think the overall consensus is that Caleb with a K kind of needs something new and different now. And he's a great talent, and people generally want to see more of him, which is kind of where I'm at too. So
I guess that'll depend on how Tenille fares in the Knockouts title match at Rebellion. We'll see where that goes.
I can tell you how she's going to fare. She's going to get her ass Venus de Milo is how she's going to fare. Because there is no way Deonna doesn't break her in half.
Man, Deonna can out wrestle her big time. I'm looking forward to seeing how she pulls that out. How Tenille pulls off hanging with Deonna, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie with you. I'm not gonna lie with you. This is true too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this booking of Tenille here. To see how far she's come for in a title match. But Deonna's wrestled a lot of different styles, and I think Tenille is like another different style for her. Very different from Jazz, what we just saw Deonna through the program we just saw her come out of. So I'm excited to see what Tenille brings for Deonna's game.
Yeah.
Because I want to see Deonna wrestle everybody. I want to see Deonna wrestle Sabretooth Tigers, Ronald McDonald, everybody. Bring them all on.
Yeah, no matter what, bring him in. Just put him in front of Deonna, see what happens. But cool, yeah. If you guys will see, Mark is interacting on the Twitter a lot, so the engagement type stuff, that's Mark putting that. And he'll usually put #Mark if he's got a random thought in the middle of the day, so they'll know it's coming from him. You can get me at Trensberry over on Twitter, guys, and this show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just type in Total Nonstop Impact, it comes right up. So give us a follow on all those. Share that around. Let people know where they can find us. Twitter is probably our biggest engagement platform. So, connect with us. We appreciate. All of the news people send us, the complaints, the feedback. We're welcome to all of it. Please keep tagging us in all that stuff. You guys are great for tagging us in all these news bits and things happening and all that stuff. So we like it. Thank you very much for doing that. ProWrestlingTees.com. The sale starts tomorrow. There is a sale right now.
It's tomorrow, right?
It is tomorrow.
See. I need to buy one for myself.
So the sale is on. The new TNI t-shirt designed by Juan the Dead is now on sale for a sale. Yeah, it's sick shirt. So it's on sale. Go to prosynthes.com/total-impact. All of our shirts are on sale. 20% off. Is it free shipping or no? Or just 20%?
Over 150, 20% off.
Okay, 20% off. So Bill's covered clearly. So Bill's good.
Yeah, Bill's good.
But 20% off, guys. That's a great time to buy the shirts. You know, it basically saves you on the tax. You know, it's just not tax and maybe some shipping. So go grab that. prosynthes.com/total-impact. The Discord link is in the chat below. Keep up with the Discord. Hang out with everybody outside of these shows. You know, discuss topics, whatever we need to do. There's a tree house in the Discord, all sorts of shit. The pizza room, you name it. There's all sorts of stuff going on there.
Pizza room not getting a lot of action lately. Why don't you guys go hit the pizza room up?
Talk some pizza. Come on, guys. but then it does it, right? Anything else, Mark?
No, that's I would say definitely go pick up that new shirt. I'm actually in the process right now of ordering it because it's been sitting in my cart waiting for today.
There you go.
Juan of the Dead again. I don't
Killed
think
it.
we can shout that out enough. This shirt is so sick.
We'll be doing more business with Juan for sure. But Juan even has designs on Shop Impact. So we're on that level, guys. But cool. I think that's going to do it. That's everything. So don't forget, guys, no UK tomorrow. But everything will be back. But we'll be back on Thursday. Wait,
it's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow
would have been Wednesday UK. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it this week because they just did Hardcore Justice with us. So starting next week is UK's on Wednesdays. So we'll be back with you guys Thursday for the post show as soon as Impact and Access TV goes off the air. Don't forget, guys, BTI an hour before Impact. Watch BTI, watch Impact and Access, the whole block, then join us for the review right afterwards. So, all right, I think it does it, right, Mark?
That's it, man. We did it.
All right, guys.
My first two-man booth. Thank you, everybody.
Right. Very nice. Mark did a good job. And he waited for me. Thank you, Mark. All right, guys. Have a great, safe week, everybody. We appreciate it. Stay warm, stay cool, stay hot, stay warm, fresh, stay vaccinated, stay safe. I don't know what the fuck.
Hey, I'm getting my first job on Friday.
Hey, look at that. Mark's going to be safe. He'll be good to come up and see Kylie in a couple of months, too. So There you go. Very nice. All right, guys. Sleep well. Thanks for hanging out late. We know it's late. Thank you all for being patient with me while my schedule is a little off. I thank you guys personally for that one. But go have a great night. Get some rest. We'll talk to you guys Thursday night. Don't forget Impact and Access TV Thursday at 8, 7 Central. And we will talk to you then. Good night, everybody.